We're here in our home in Novato, like many of
Home.
you in home as well,
Sheltered at home.
wherever you are sheltered right now. And yeah, we wanted to just welcome you for a few minutes. We wanted to share some practices with you that we thought were really, really beautiful and important at this time, and things that we ourselves have been putting into place. So we got two agendas for a short little Facebook Live with you right now. We want to share with you these 4 practices that we find really helpful for creating resilience and connection. So 4 things you can bring into your life right now and get some traction around these things, kind of these 4 essential. We call them the 4 R's. So we're going to quickly go through those. Maybe not so quickly. We'll dip into them a little bit and hopefully give you something you can take away and put into practice today. And then we'll also talk a little bit about this weekend retreat that we have coming up this weekend called the Finding Sanctuary Retreat that comes up this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we're going to give you a little preview of that as well. So that's what we're here to do, and just wanted to talk a little bit and acknowledge some of what we're all facing. We have such a beautiful core community here, and we've had the sharing circle last night, and so many of these other events, little events and little get-togethers, and virtual, most of them, and
all of them.
All of them, yeah, I guess at this point, yeah. And so, yeah, it's been beautiful to see the connection, and also to really get a sense of what people are enduring. You know, I have my experience, and Britt has her experience, and one thing I've really come into touch with is it's very different for many people. Like, what we're experiencing is very different. And to hear your different stories and where you're coming from and what family life is like for you, and what industry you're in, and maybe, I mean, it's very diverse experiences, but they seem to fall into 2 basic categories. It seems to be that a lot of us are experiencing loneliness and isolation, and in the spiritual terminology, we'd call it desolation. And there's that side of the spectrum, and then there's this other category, which is too much constriction and too much togetherness.
Too many people.
And too many people.
All the time, 24/7, with the kids, with the husband, with the partner,
Yeah. So this is, right?
And an overwhelming, for many people, an overwhelm in terms of, like financial security, or making plans that we can't make any plans. We don't really know what's happening. So there's an overwhelm. For some of you are facing financial insecurity. Some of you in the health industry are facing burnout, from working so much. So it's different for everybody, but everybody's facing something.
Yeah.
And life is different.
Yeah, and it is different, and I've just noticed for ourselves. I mean, I just wanted you to know we're going right through this with you. We've experienced both this kind of sense of isolation and desolation, and also the friction of what it's like to be together with people a lot, and also this strange feeling. Maybe some of you feel this too, like both at the same time. Like there's maybe a feeling of loneliness and isolation and overwhelm. It's like, how is this happening at the same time? So, for us, this is part of what we've been experiencing. And Britt and I have worked together for a long time. So this is part of a little bit of this, is that we've explored this territory together for a long time.
Like 5 years
before the coronavirus came on the scene, because we live together, we're married, we work together, we spend a lot of time together, we travel together, we facilitate together. So we're a little further down the road on some of these things, and we'd love to share with you some insights and thoughts that we've learned some really wonderful ways to not just endure, but to thrive, and to really find the gold and the opportunity in these situations. So we want to share with you these 4 practices right now that we kind of distilled this down into.
Yeah. So there are actually 4 R's. So the first one is release. So, there's so much pent up emotion, right? We're going through anxiety, fear, frustration, anger, sadness, heartbreak, and then maybe we'll find some joy, and then we'll go back. Like, for what I hear from a lot of people, it's like waves of emotions are coming. We're good, and then we go through the whole thing again, So partially it's just allow yourself a space to release this stuff out of your body, like to pay attention to your emotional body, and just, just like right now, even just the experience, like everybody just who listens to this, just take a breath and just shake and make a little sound. Just like that, right? Like, and if you tune in, just that 1 second shake is like it changed something, like I sometimes, like, just regularly during the day right now, I just growl. Or sometimes I've done it now twice. I've had like a long session of like half an hour, 45 minutes of just emotionally releasing, like I did it twice last week, and it was so good. Like I totally afterwards, I'm like, it's just like amazing, the shift in my energy, so we're actually offering that to you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific, right? Our time. I'm leading you all through an emotional release session. And if you can come to that, just take a little space, 5 minutes, like one song, if you're frustrated, just take one song, one angry song, and just growl. Just ring a towel, just growl, or, or one sad song and just cry, have your little tissue box and just cry. Just let it come out so it doesn't all go in and kind of recycle. Have you noticed that? Like when we don't release this emotion, they just cycle around in the head and create havoc. So that's point one, release.
First R, release. First R, release.
Okay. Two is resourcing, like, so, and what we mean with this, like, two ways to do that. Resourcing mean do things that are good for you, that feel good, that, and particularly right now with all this chaos, one of the things that we really recommend is create a physical and energetic space for yourself, like one thing could be just to have have one place in the house that's like an altar, like a sacred space where you put the things that mean something to you, that remind you of the sacred, that remind you of the beautiful, like flowers, candles, pictures of people you love, or religious deities, or whatever reminds you of the sacred, of grace, and make it one space, and then just go there when you want connection to grace. Go to that place and let that be your space, and then ask. And I know some of you live with kids and partners, and but ask these people to give you space, even if it's 5 minutes, like mommy needs to have 5 minutes, or like I just need 10 minutes to be here, to be in my space, and for some people it could be a bench outside, and you have a tree and you put something under the tree that reminds you of the sacred, so whatever, just find somewhere to have your sacred space and create boundaries for you, like so that you can have whatever time, however much time you can carve out for yourself, that you can have that space, so it can be resourcing for you. So then when you drink from that inner well, then you have more to give to the people around you. Yeah, resourcing. And the third one is retreat. That kind of goes along with what I was just talking about. It's like I highly, 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 I always do, but particularly in this time, recommend spiritual practice, a daily spiritual practice. Like, I don't care if it's 5 minutes for you. Yes, love that heart. So, like, I'm just offering daily grace videos. If you want to have it really easy, just use those. They're like 5 to 8 minutes, and you can stop them in the middle if you want to go longer, and then start them again. And so that's just like an easy go to, right? If you're having a hard time, what am I going to do? Do that, and or just do your practice, your silent practice. Or you can also, if this feels too much right now for you to sit with all your thoughts and everything, dance, do a devotional dance, put on something, chant. There's so much beautiful chanting music. Chant, or, like pray out loud, pray silently, pray for yourself, pray for others, and bring anything you've got going on, you can bring anything to grace, anything, like as long as you're sincere, like just, I'm so mad, I feel so disconnected, whatever it is, just bring it. So there's some way for you to make a daily practice, and we highly recommend same time. If you kind of figure this out every day, when is it? It never works. Let me tell you that from our
Yeah, and
experience.
it's gotten even more important, I
Oh
think, at
man,
this time.
like we've failed at this so many times, like, and we finally, like we finally realized we need a daily time, and it's like there's a no cancellation policy, like there's just no cancellation. This is it. We're doing it at that time. It's beautiful also for couples to do that together if you can. Um, so
I
let me
just wanted to
see.
say a quick thing about
Yeah.
the three. So far we've got release, resourcing, and retreat. And Britta's going to talk about the fourth R in just a second. But one of the things I kind of just, if I can invite you to a mindset that we found really valuable in relationship to all of these, is that the the core of empowerment is to be with what is. I know I said this on the call maybe last night or last week, but the core of empowerment is to be with what is. And so I know a few people I've talked to and said, like, well, I can't, I'm going to wait until a certain time to strengthen this part of me, or I don't know how during this time I'm going to grow in intimacy, or I don't know how I can explore my needs in this particular time. Well, this is the time we have. This is it. This is what is. And so, finding release now, like now, not watch the survivor self. For those of you who are core folk, will say, I'm going to find release when this is all over. I'm going to go to Hawaii and find release. I find myself saying that. When
Yeah,
this is
you
over, I'm
just
going to go to Hawaii. But it's like, no, find release now. And resourcing. Now is the time to resource, not the time to think about how you're going to resource later. So, and then to make a retreat now, and I think this is the real invitation of this. When Britta talks about retreat, sometimes we think I'm going to go on retreat, and we have our places. We love to go to New Camaldoli and other places around. I mean, we've been fortunate to go on retreat in beautiful places, and retreat is an action that we can take now in our own home.
Yeah,
It's
you
not
can
just a
make your home into well, we need to make our home into a retreat place, into a sanctuary, because that's all we've got right now is our homes. Like Lee and I can go to our church, like where we go many times a week usually, like we can't do it. So our home has to be a sanctuary, and a church, a temple, whatever that is for you.
and
Yeah.
it should be anyway, right? But
Yeah.
now we have a special invitation, like it should be anyway,
Yeah.
and now there's a special power in that.
And one more thing to this retweet point, please limit your exposure to internet, like, and social media. Uh, it's crazy making right now, like, and it's like if you do that first thing in the morning and last thing at night, you're doomed.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's like you just get sucked into this vortex of opinions and mind chatter. And there's also great information, but you want to be really selective when you get to that. Like you really do want your day to start and end with grace. Like with like a prayerful and skillful kind of, like, yeah, like an attitude towards your day that's going to happen, and then close it in a prayerful way, because otherwise, and that's also, we know this from our own experience really well, it's like you get just sucked down, and out of a sudden it's like lunchtime and the prayer didn't happen.
Please learn from our mistakes.
Yes.
We want to let you learn from our mistakes. So we've got the release, resource, and retreat, the first three R's. And then the fourth R
is kind of something that, that kind of encompasses all of it, but it's like reconnect with grace. I know that sometimes, I think yesterday one of our core people was saying, I can't do that right now. I'm in survival mode. I just lost my job, or my business just almost tanked, and my stocks went down. And how can I connect with grace right now? That's not on my priority list. Well, our invitation is put it on your priority list. I promise you, promise you, when you reconnect with grace, you will have the most that will give you the most skillful way and wise way and intelligent way to respond, not react, respond to the demands of your life, no matter what it is. If it's children, if it's finances, if it's elderly parents, or whatever it is that you're facing, or loneliness, or you just you just can't stand being inside anymore, whatever it is. If you reconnect with grace, everything will be better. I promise you it will be better, and your nervous system will come down, like your parasympathetic nervous system will be activated versus the sympathetic nervous system that's always fight, flight, freeze, So does that make sense? It's like connecting with the source of all goodness, of all truth, of all beauty, is what's going to save you through this time. It's what's going to save us all, and so it's not like let me get everything else handled, and then whatever I've got left over, then I connect with grace. It'll never happen. Let me connect with grace first, and then I'll face all my daily material worldly affairs.
And again, this is the invitation to do it now. I mean, I really think grace hands us what we need at this time. Like, this is the time to connect to grace. If you've been waiting, now's the invitation, right? And the reconnecting with grace also allows us to reconnect with ourselves and ultimately reconnect with each other. I think they're all interconnected, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, totally. I love to say that.
Totally.
And also, really, it's a good time to look at what are my obstacles because right now, stuff is coming up. Yes, please get the quote. The Rumi, we love Rumi. And he has this beautiful quote that Jessica actually has on her, I think on her
signature.
On her personal email or something. Will you read that?
So Rumi says, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against love.
I love him. It's like, that's like what we need to do right now. We always want to do that, but particularly in this time, don't you feel the barriers are closer? Like the mistrust towards, is this really a good world, or is everybody against me? Or mistrust towards neighbor, judgments. Some of us are just totally stuck in self-judgment or judging everybody else who isn't behaving the way they should be behaving right now in this crisis, right? Like, or, my barrier could be like trust issues, like, is everything really okay? Like, am I really held? Like, it's like whatever the barrier of our survivor self strategies are up right now.
Oh, yes.
They're like, you don't have to go very far to find them, right? This is what the gift is of this time. It's like we can access it so easily because they're right in our face, like whatever it is. Right?
Have you noticed any of your survivor self strategies coming up?
Type that in. What are the people that are online right now? What are they? What are the things that are coming up for you? Some of us are just in denial about the whole situation. I have a few girlfriends who are just like, I'm just not thinking about it. I'm just not dealing with it. So it's like put the head in the sand dynamic, right? Some of us are just like cleaning all day, disinfecting every 5 minutes, because we're just like, so there's just like, like some of us are totally distracting ourselves, right? So some of us are just yelling at everybody. So some of us are like sleeping 15 hours a day. So whatever it is for us, right? Do you see anybody typing anything in there? Jessica is. Somebody, I can't see anything.
A workaholic. Danny says a workaholic. Yeah.
Workaholic. Right. That's perfect. That's mine too. So love doing that. So it's really good to see what is it in me. That's kind of the beauty of a crisis. It's like it brings up the stuff, and then we can look at it. And Jessica's on, and that's Jessica's.
She's looking at the news all day long, and she never looks at the news. No, I totally. Yeah. It's amazing to see how our triggers happen. So, but here's.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes.
So the news thing is like, because we want to get some sense of control, we want to know what's going on. We want to know what's happening, like what's happening, like what will happen, when is this going to end, and all that stuff. So our control mechanisms are really upright too, because it's so uncertain, and there's so many things we have no control over in this situation, you know. But
Yeah.
but we do have control over these 4 points that we just talked about.
So
Yeah.
again, this is just for those of you, just to get a snapshot. This is the takeaway that we would love for you to invite putting into place. Release, resourcing, retreat, and reconnect. Like these are four beautiful principles that you can bring into your life. You can go do them, or you can get support with them. And that's what we want to talk about now. Is this retreat we have coming up? If these things, if you feel like, oh yeah, I need these four things in my life, and you want to receive them in a structured, supportive way, then we created this Finding Sanctuary retreat, which comes up this weekend, and I love it because it is the interior castle, so to speak,
Yeah.
of
Love,
Saint Teresa
love
of
that
Avila.
word.
You know, it's not the retreat on the coast in California that I love, although I do love that retreat, but it's the retreat here in this place, in this sacred place. I mean my house, and I mean in me. And that's our invitation, is to give you a structure this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, to ground yourself in these four principles through this retreat. So you want to say a few words about the retreat, Britta?
Yeah, so I figured, you know, if we can't go out, let's go in. You know, like we can't do our usual things, our social things, our, you know, our outside things, you know, that we get our juice from, you know. So let's go in and let's trust, you know, all the mystics and sages and saints of the centuries down through the ages, you know, like thousands of years, from thousands of years, they all say it's within. And if you don't find it within, you will never find it without. You know, like it's that simple. And so it's to trust that we are a sanctuary. We are, you know, like really, we are the what is it called? We are the body of God, you know, like we are it, you know, and inside of us there is an indwelling presence of goodness, of beauty, of truth, just waiting that we pay some attention to it. You know, there's a love calling, always calling to take us into its mystery. Um, and what more beautiful thing really is there to do this weekend, in a certain sense? Like, why wouldn't we want to do that? Why wouldn't we want to connect with beauty and truth and eternal goodness that is unconditional, no matter what's happening in the world? And this place where we know that all is well, all is always well, even if it is unbelievably unwell. You know, like if it looks like it's a disaster, you know, but inside of us is this place that knows all is well, and I can just relax, you know, like, and relaxation will be my best response to it. That's how I'm going to be the most helpful, the most present, the most, you know, beautiful. And we want a beautiful response, don't we? We all want to respond beautifully and contribute the best we can, right, in this situation. So
Yeah.
that's what it's about, right?
Yeah. So we want to help you create a space, support you. So Britt and I will be leading this Finding Sanctuary retreat this Friday. I'll give you the parameters here. Friday through Sunday. It goes 3:30 p.m. on Friday through 12:30 p.m. on Sunday. So it's kind of half day Friday, half day Sunday, and full day Saturday. And there'll be some sessions each day, and they'll all be recorded because we know you may have kids at home, really busy life at this moment, even though, like, you know, you have nothing to do. You may have a lot to do. So we want to create this space of, so we'll guide you through these sessions and support you in creating these 4 R's, this releasing, this resourcing. I'm going to add resting, and retreating and reconnecting to that source in yourself. And so, and really, I think sanctifying your home, like sanctifying your experience of being home. If we said one thing, it's like, can I sanctify my life as it is right now? And so this is the first time we've done this. We're really excited about it. It's $175 and it's a sliding scale. So we wanted to really make it affordable. So we made it, you know, we cut it down to as low as we could. And if that's too much, then reach out to Jessica and we will do what we can to accommodate you. We want everyone to be able to come if this calls to you, to be able to turn your life and these days into a sanctuary. So anything else you want to say about
I just
that?
thought of this song, Please Prepare Me to be a sanctuary. Like, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to prepare ourselves to be a sanctuary, like to find sanctuary in these troubled times, like, and
We could sing it. It doesn't really work to sing a Zoom call when we all sing together. It sounds terrible.
Terrible.
Since we're just going to sing it. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true. With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary for you. We will not sing on the retreat, promise you.
Oh, no, we will sing.
We will sing on the retreat.
Of course, we will chant.
And we're going to chant. Right.
So definitely, we're chanting. This is one of the most beautiful ways to open to grace, is we'll be chanting, we'll be inquiring, holistic inquiry. Some of you know that, some of you don't. It's an incredibly beautiful process to access the deeper parts of ourselves, like we'll be sharing all the good core stuff that you love, like, and we promise to make this the most powerful, intimate, interactive, connecting thing one can do online. So
and it's open to non-core people, is it not?
So it is. Yes,
friends,
it is.
Family, whoever. And I just want to say hi to everybody out there. There's a lot of you. I just want to say hi. Thank you for coming. So if
can I say one more thing?
Yeah, please.
I just also want to say, for some of you, it might be like, I don't know if I can take all that time off and da-da-da. So we really want to make this as accessible as possible. So we'll record every session. And it's not like you're going to be 10 hours a day on the internet. Like there's sections. There's a Friday section, then there's a break, then there's a short examine and chanting. And for you folks on the East Coast, the kind of later evening part, which is like the chanting and stuff, is like, we're going to record that for you, and then you can do that later. And we can record any part of it. So if you're like, I don't know if I can commit to that much time, and I don't know what's happening on the weekend, then we'll just record it for you and you can do it later. And you get an integration package afterwards that we're going to give you as much as we can to keep you going. You can have an optional buddy afterwards, an accountability buddy that you journey through the next 2 weeks or so with, to kind of bring this into your life and not just have a weekend experience. So we're really... whatever we know about grace, and we both have been on the path dedicatedly for about, your whole life, and me since I'm 15, which is a long time ago, about 40 years now, like, so between us, we have like 80, 90 years of being dedicatedly on the spiritual path. So we're going to share whatever we know in that brief time that we have, and go deep with you. As usual.
And it's kind of really cool that we're right here. Our bedroom is right next door, and that's where our little sanctuary spot is, where we have our morning meditation and our evening prayer. And so we love to share that with you and help you create that same space and that same feeling in your house. So
is there
when I put a link, so there is a link I've included in the chat. So if you want more information, you can. What's that? Go ahead.
It sends all the more. Not pressing the angry one.
Yeah,
that's okay. Anger's welcome.
You can press.
Remember, Anger's very welcome.
If you want to practice emotional release right now, you can all just give a flurry. I don't even know how to send an emoji on. I don't even know how to do it. But if you want angry emoji, like that's the release session tomorrow night. So just come back for that. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
7 on the East Coast. So at least come to that, really. Like, you want to do that. It's like I don't believe there's anybody out there right now who doesn't feel some emotional upheaval, So, look, they're all coming. We gotta learn this.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so we're gonna have fun releasing tomorrow. Really, it's liberating. It's so liberating. So
release
do you have any
tomorrow.
Questions?
Yeah, if there are any questions. Type them in or type them after when this is finished, and we'll be happy to get back as soon as we can. And join us for the release session tomorrow if you can, and for this beautiful Finding Sanctuary retreat this weekend, which we're really eager to share. Are
you going to post all the links for this stuff?
The link is available in the chat there. So
great,
and other things are available on the core calendar. So go to coreexperience.com and say by tomorrow, if they're not already, they'll be I may be surprising Jessica because I discussed this with Jed, and I think it's an action that we have to put all these things in the calendar. But she might go, "I didn't hear that." So,
But they are on the core, on this public page where this is held
Facebook
right
page,
now. They're
yeah.
also going to be in the core alumni Facebook page, and they're also, we've sent you emails. So if you just can't find where anything is, just email info@coreexperience.com,
Yeah.
and they will guide you there. Okay. So
Blessings.
we love you. We hope to see you soon, and blessings. And remember to reconnect with grace. Yes.
Yeah.
Today. Now. Okay.
Now. Okay.
Mwah.
Bye bye. See you.